What are the chances they DH him every now and then, Eric? For Jeter, like instead,
I don't think they're going to do it a lot. I think they will a little bit, but
like give him like sort of a day off or two in the field.
But again, they're gonna, they don't. They got some other holes to fill too, so I don't see that happening. I don't really see them DHing Jeter much.
Well, like what I was thinking is, maybe because of the injury, maybe in like a sense of let's bring him back a little slower kind of thing, where maybe you DH him for the first couple of weeks of the season to give him a chance to sort of get his feet under him and get back into the grind of playing and dealing with the different. Because one thing you got to remember, if anybody out there that's broken a bone or anything like that, weather affects how you feel in that area that was broken. So he could hit a city where it's going to be cold weather. That foot's not going to feel the same way as it's going to feel when he's in spring training down in Florida.
Yeah, but he's a gamer, though.
Oh, I'm not down his tough. I'm not saying it's going to keep him out of the game.
No, but I just don't. With the Yankees roster the way it is, it doesn't make sense to DH him all the time. They can't. They don't have the people. With A-Rod being out already, with, they just don't have the room. They get, signing Hafner, the guy's practically just a DH.
Yeah.
They're not going to really be able to play him anywhere. They're not going to be able to put him at short. They don't have a lot of options there. So I don't see it happening that often. I think he comes back. I think with a full spring training, he'll be able to work out any kinks and
he'll be
ready to go.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I really do not expect him to have a bad year. I think he's going to have a good year. Like I said, I don't expect him to do what he did last year, because what he did last year at his age was astonishing. I thought his season last year was unbelievably impressive. I mean, he batted over 300. He 20 and 80 home run RBI, something like that. Yeah, he had a really good year last year, and I was very surprised by it. It sucked that it had to get ended. His year had to end early with the injury, and then obviously the Yankees get swept, and it is what it is. But when I think of Derek Jeter, I agree with you. A gamer, a manimal, a once in a lifetime type of athlete. Me and you have talked about this before on the show. How Derek Jeter is one of those guys. How lucky you are that you've had a chance to grow up and watch him play his whole career, because for the rest of your life, the chances of having a guy on your own team, now you're going to see guys in the league like Mike Trout. Mike Trout's a guy most likely. We'll watch this guy's entire career and watch this guy most likely turn into a great MLB player for a long time. But it's completely different when the guy's on your team, the team you root for. So, you're very lucky to get a chance to watch that.
With this injury to Jeter, though, it was a break and not necessarily anything to do with, like, a muscle tear or anything. It was strictly just a break. And when bones break, they actually heal. And he should be okay. He shouldn't have any lingering effects from this. It's not like pulling a hamstring where, you got to worry about pulling it again later on. It's not like, rolling an ankle where, you've already, got the ligaments. It's not that way. With the break, I think he'll actually come back and be able to play at 100% again. I don't think you're going to have much limitation to him. And that, I think, is a good thing.
That's a very good thing, because the last thing you want to have is lingering effects, or him to be 3 weeks into the season and have to miss a week or two, and then get four, go a couple weeks after that, and then him have to miss another few games, or who knows what kind of games he would end up missing. Are they serious? Are they part of a playoff push? Or they, who knows? And I think another question I can ask you about Jeter before we go into our first break of the day. How many games out of the 162 do you think he actually plays in, whether it's a DH or, a full-blown role in
I think
the game?
he plays in a 150.
Wow. Okay.
150, yeah, I'll say is a good round number.
Okay.
They give him a couple days off here and there, but I don't think they give him a lot. I might even go less than that.
See, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking I was figuring like 120, 130.
No, I mean by less. I mean he could play more than 150
Oh,
games.
okay.
Going in that direction.
You're going in the opposite direction. I got you. See, I was just thinking about it because I'm like, based on where he's at, and I mean, it's obviously up to the manager to make that decision.
You have to look at the roster too. They don't have the depth right now at that position to really give him a lot of days off. I'm not putting Nunez in at shortstop that often.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So, in other words, a lot of your opinions on what Jeter's season is going to be isn't based on Jeter. It's based on what's behind the lack of what's behind him.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I will say, if there's one thing I know about baseball, shortstop is one of the hardest positions to play. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Shortstop's probably one of the hardest positions to play. And, so you do want somebody reliable there. I think of some of the plays I've seen Jeter make over his lifetime in that position. You're just like,
yeah.
How the hell? You're running this way and throwing full strength that way, that many feet. That's okay. Pretty damn impressive. I just, I look at Derek Jeter and I think you want to preserve, yet you want to maximize.
Last year of his deal, so he's going to have to perform. And you know how people perform in the last year of their deals.
People do step it up.
So I think he'll have another year, probably not as good as last year, but I bet he bats 300. I think he has another 300 season. I bet you he has another 90 runs to 100 runs scored, probably about 60 to 70 RBIs, probably about 15 home runs. I'm going to say somewhere around that. Ballpark it. Which wouldn't be a bad year for him.
Well, I just loaded up his stats from last year. He played in 159 games. So it means he missed a total of 3.
Yeah.
He had 683 at-bats, 99 runs scored, 216 hits, 15 home runs, 58 RBIs, 45 walks, 90 Ks, 9 stolen bases. He batted .316, had an on-base percentage of .362, slugging percentage of .429, and an OPS of .791. That's like, that's the home runs and RBIs. I thought the RBIs were higher. I didn't think the home runs were much higher. So I'm a little surprised by that. I thought he was a little higher in his RBIs.
Nah, he bats at the top of the order.
He's a leader. He's one of the leadoff. I mean, I think another thing that'll help him obviously is Ichiro being back there. I think for a full year, I think that's another thing that might help him get a few more RBIs this year. I think the batting average stays the same or around the same, maybe a little bit lower. I think a lot of his stats are very similar this coming year. I mean, 1 run short of 100, that's a hell of a year. It really is. I mean, Derek Jeter's, as we said, he's a manimal.